All right, I've got the stock squad with me tonight. The markets have finally taken a breather for one day. They've been pushing up for quite a while. People have felt locked out because they wanted to get in on any kind of a dip, but the market did not seem to want to dip. But today it's actually pulled back. Why did it pull back? Well, there was a one of the state feds talked and sent some mixed messages that seemed to potentially disagree with what Fed Powell recently said. The entire heat map of the S&P 500 turned red except for one lone big tech stock, and that was Google. I'm going to get into Google and some other big tech stocks, and stay until the end of this video because I've got a stock pick of the month to drop on you guys. I've done the research and I think this is going to be a winner, and I'm going to lay out some of the basics of it for you today. Right now I'm going to turn to Larry Jones and I'm going to get his reaction on the market drop today.
Well, the market dropped while I was uploading and editing my video. It was just as much a surprise to me as it was the rest of you guys. Listen, whether there was a hawkish talking Fed or not, we were due. We've had, 9 straight days of just gains. We've had weeks. We've had all of the major indices that they're like hitting record highs, like the Dow. And it's just time. It's just one day, right? The Dow didn't fall by 1,400 points. It was, it was under 500 points, and it was to be expected. It was coming, right? But remember, the Santa Claus rally is the last 5 days of December and the first 2 days of January of 2024. So we'll take it. I'm good with it.
Thank you, Larry. Keenan, let me know, what did you think of the market drop? And let me just set this question up a little bit. Obviously, we all know that at some point this market's going to turn around on us. It has really gone up quite a bit. I believe the last time I checked, it was over 16% pump. Now, we know that the markets can remain irrational longer than most people who are going against them can remain solvent. Is it the time for the bears to begin to take a position, or is this just a minor blimp in a continued uptrend? What do you think, man?
Josh, I think the stock market is a scam, and I think everybody in it is going to lose all of their money, and they need to just let it all go and just it's a scam, man. Everybody I see in the stock market is getting scammed. There's nothing going up. Nobody's making money on the way down. Oh man, it was going up. What Larry say? 9 weeks straight, and then man, scam, pump and dump, scam. that's what it is, man. Listen, I got most of my money in these stocks. I'm about to just sell them all, man. Everything is a scam. So look, listen. So what that I've been buying VOO consistently, VTI consistently, making money on call options. Yeah. Money is made. We've seen Larry make money. We've seen Josh make money. We've seen Keenan make money. We've seen Chris Say make money. We've seen everybody making money who hold long-term bangers. However, it's still a scam. The whole stock market is a scam. So I'm deciding, you know what, I'm just gonna get out the game and just let it go forever and just watch everybody else get rich, because this is just a scam. It can't be that this is just a red day and red days are healthy. That can't be it. That's my take. That just can't be it.
Thank you. All right. Hey, well, there was one outlier today, which was Google. Now, before I set up the question for these guys, I will talk to you guys about why Google popped off today. But I want to take a step back, because if you follow this page, you know that I've talked about the fact that big tech, it does not go all up at the same time and it doesn't peak at the same time. Apple largely led the way. It made all-time highs. Actually, Microsoft was outperforming Apple for quite a while. The two of them were pushing the highest the soonest. And then at the end of the last time we had a swing high, one of the last stocks that performed well at the tail end of a bigger bull move was Google. And it's interesting to me that yet again, as we are potentially nearing the top of this swing high, Google was the one outlier, and that's great for Google. It also could be perhaps an ominous foreshadowing of the fact that the big tech run is coming to a near end. Now, why did Google go up today? Google basically had a news announcement that they were restructuring their ad staff, which is not a small deal because they basically have 30,000 people in their ad sales staff, and they're going to do a shakedown and a restructuring of that entire department, and the market took that as positive news, possibly some cost cutting, possibly some improvements. But that's the reason why Google was rallying. If it wasn't the reason that I just gave you guys, that it tends to move the last. And but we are up against strong resistance. I've covered support and resistance on this page. I'll circle back and give you guys support and resistance, but let me just get a quick reaction from Larry on Google, his thoughts. Larry, let me just set you up for this. Is Google just going to hit the wall of 141 and fade with the rest of big tech, or is this move for Google just beginning? I know you don't have a crystal ball, but I'd be curious your impression.
I believe that this move for Google is just beginning. Sometimes the laggards are the ones that move against the trend. You know what I'm saying? And so this could be a one day. I'm trying to put it in that window. So this is what I want to shine a light on. I want to shine a light on a lot of other big tech, right? So the market sold off at the end, right? These numbers are not horrible. Look at this. Apple, 1%. Microsoft, just under 1%. Amazon, almost 2%, but Netflix, 1%. So it's not Armageddon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's one day and we were due for it. Google is one of my positions that I've been DCAing into heavier because I believe that Google will be a winner in the AI race, along with Microsoft and, of course, Tesla. But Google and Microsoft are my two big AI plays. And I believe that regardless of what happened today, when you have a loose talking Fed, just like the FOMC meeting, Josh, the day that they speak, the reaction that happens right away is not normally the overall direct. Have you noticed that, Josh? And when the Fed is talking and when he finishes, whatever it does that day, the next day, it's like it's a month apart. It's not like it's a continuance, right? I'm not saying that the market will be green tomorrow, but I'm just saying that today's reaction could have just been merely an overreaction.
Thank you, Larry. So guys, real quick, I'm not in my regular studio. I am using Wi-Fi that's I'm not familiar with, and so I'm not sure how this whole video will go. I also want to mention that Stockmo is not with us today. He was unavailable for today. We have a special guest that might be popping in here shortly, so that's why we've left a window open. I'm going to quickly give you technicals for Google, where I see support and resistance, and then I'm going to ask Keenan whether he is buying the dip on Google. So I see support for Google at $137, and right now it's come up against $141 twice. So it's sort of knocking on the door of that area of resistance. Now, I think that it's not going to be a breakout until we get above $142.75. If we get that kind of move up above $142.75, then we close on the day, I would consider that a breakout, and it would open us up to the opportunity of pushing up to $151. That would immediately become my target. And so on that note, Keenan, are you buying the dip on Google?
You know what? Can you hear me or am I muted?
Yes,
Let me just double check. There you guys.
I can hear you.
You can hear me well. Some people in the chat are saying that we're cutting out a little bit. So I just want to say, guys, in case you missed the sarcasm, stocks are absolutely not a scam. If you put the time in, and I say that because a lot of people feel that way out in the game. If you put the time in to learn how to trade and you really are dedicated, I was reading a book recently, right? And I had posted this to the Discord. I was talking to everybody about how I'm reading a book. And in this book, I'm not going to get into it too much, but they're saying if you want to learn how to trade, you have to take trading as seriously as a scuba diver takes monitoring their oxygen tank. Now, that sounds intense, doesn't it? It is, because the reason that you have to pay so close attention to your trades, not your investments. Your investments like VOO or VTI, what people do is they just buy that and go about their lives. But when you want to trade, get in, get up, and get out, you have to pay close attention. And I'll tell you this, understand this. Let me ask you a question. Does Larry Jones trade? Does Stocks with Josh trade? Do you think that they are good at trading? If you are trading and they are trading, we are all in it to make money. Where is the money coming from? Somebody is giving their money up because they took a bad trade and the other person saw a better opportunity and took a good trade. You are in it with people who are Larry, Josh, Keenan, all of us, and people who are way better than us who aren't on the internet. They're trading too. The barrier to entry on trading is so low. You download an app, you get in. With no practice, you can trade. However, with no practice, you might get lucky, but then you will lose your money to someone who's a better trader than you. So you got to put the time in to learn how to trade. So then when you see something like a Google, you ask yourself two things. First of all, is Google a good company? Do I think Google is going to be a bigger company in the future? If so, why do I think that? I got a little bit of statistic for you. Not even statistics, just some numbers. And listen to me here closely. There are companies. Meta, Instagram, and ChatGPT. To get to 100 million users, it took Spotify 1,650 days to get to 100 million users. Family, that's over 4 years. For Instagram to get to 100 million users, it took them 2.5 years. 900 days. For ChatGPT to get to 100 million users, it took it 60 days or 2 months, where it took Meta or Instagram 2.5 years and Spotify 4.5 years. Why am I telling you this? Because artificial intelligence presents itself to be such an opportunity and such a killer to a lot of industries that they are trying to implement it first so that they can make a lot of money, and then you could sit on the sideline while you watch your job disappear. The same way that horses watch their jobs disappear when cars revolutionized the world, the same way that people who worked at cashier type jobs lost their jobs. A lot of people, there used to be 20 people at the cash register. Now there's one person manning 20 self-checkouts. A lot of people lose their jobs when they are behind the 8 ball. You got to pay attention. So when I see Google, I ask myself, is it a good company? Okay, it is. Is it in a space that is likely to grow rapidly? Got to figure out their artificial intelligence leg so they can compete with Microsoft, so they can compete with ChatGPT. Okay, do they have the brand recognition? Oh, they do. Everybody knows Google. So if they lock it down the way that they're trying to, and if they can execute on this, they have a huge opportunity to be huge in artificial intelligence. So I'm buying long term. I have enough Google right now that I'm up $20,000 just on my Google shares alone, up $20,000. I haven't had them for long, but it's been pushing up. Now I ask myself this. So I'm holding it long term. I don't have to look at my shares. I'm holding Google long term. So now, am I willing to trade Google? Oh yeah, Google is presenting a lot of volatility. Josh just showed me and just told me, and I want y'all to replay his part back where he told you different levels. I hear the levels. I say, oh, this is a support level. Oh yeah, this is where I would buy it. I would put my stop loss immediately under this. Pay attention close. Immediately under the support. I'm trying to ride it up to about 151, right? That's the resistance. You go and look at the chart. And this is the thing about technical analysis. If you ever hear Josh tell you he's looking at a stock, you hear Larry tell you they're looking at a stock, they're looking to buy at this level and sell it at that level. I want you to pause the video, go and run the technicals yourself, and see that they are not pulling it out of thin air. It's coming based on the research of looking at the charts, of looking at the fundamentals, of looking where the buyers are, where the sellers are. So then when I see this, I'm looking to make money on Google as a stock and as a trade. And I want to end on this. Since I know where the supports and the resistances is, and I'm willing to buy it here, sell it here, get back in here, get back out there, rinse and repeat. Who do you think is going to make more money? Me, someone who's paying attention like a scuba diver, monitoring their oxygen? or somebody who's just hoping and praying that they make some money on this call. That's what I want you to think about. So with that being said, Josh, I'm buying my Google long term. If you appreciate that, family, put a 1 in the chat and hit the like for your boy Josh.
Thank you. Hey guys, hit some likes for me. Subscribe if you're new to this page to get this type of content and bold predictions and trade setups. Now guys, let me just talk to you about Tesla. Let's get into some Tesla. It has paid to buy the dip. Guys, when we were down at 200, I want you to understand this. When we have a really hard swing low, right, and we establish it and we move back up towards the top of the range, we're going to definitely spend some time at the top of the range, absolutely confirming that the move is 100% over. I don't believe that's happened yet for Tesla. Matter of fact, we have this descending line of resistance, a historic descending line of resistance, which we haven't touched in quite a while. And I think that it's done enough work for it to justify going back up and testing that line, which largely is around $270. And so I'm going to start this off before I even get to Larry and Keenan. I'm going to tell you Stocks with Josh is buying the dip on Tesla. Let me just give you guys some quick technicals, and then we're going to ask Larry and Keenan their thoughts on Tesla. So support right now for Tesla is between 243 and 244. All right, so if we have any pullback tomorrow, I think it would be a flash touch of that range, and then I personally think that we're going to go back up. No guarantees. Now, for this to get moving again and to find the momentum to shoot back up potentially to 270, it has to close above $253. That's the point in time which the rocket blasters get initiated and it really takes off. It's got to get up above 253 with some momentum. That's my exact trade plan. Now, if I see it fall beneath 243, and if I see that classic back test of 243 and fail, then I've got to let my bullish ambitions go, cut some losses, and perhaps ride some puts down. But Stocks with Josh is buying the dip on Tesla. It's paid so far the entire month of December, and that's how I'm going to play it. Larry, your thoughts on Tesla going into the next week?
On the head, I believe support and I believe resistance, but I also believe volume. And Josh, I've learned more about volume since I've been with you actually than I ever knew about volume. But I will tell you this, I'll show you guys this. Am I coming up there? Yeah, there we go. So you see my buy-in at Tesla, right? 219 at the bottom.
Nice. There you go.
Right? So you remember not too long ago when it hit that, let me see. I'm sorry, good people. There we go. All right, Tesla, you guys see you see how low it got down to 219. So I'm accumulating, and that's my swing trade. That's the portfolio that I share with you guys, but I got way more. Josh happens to know that on that day, I bought $50,000 worth. Okay, whatever, how many ever, I just went by the dollar amount. I spent $50,000 that day. I'm not afraid to buy dips and ride long, right? It's a no-brainer for me what you just said, Josh, because I believe in not just in my heart, but I believe what the technicals are showing me. I believe what the fundamentals are showing me. Go ahead and answer that, Josh.
All right, we got Chris Sane in the house.
Hey, Sane.
What's up,
on,
YouTube?
What up?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I believe what the technicals and the fundamentals are showing me. But here's the thing, Josh. If it still falls apart, that's no big deal because it's Tesla, right? It's not BBIG. This is Tesla. So we know it's going to turn around. And the fact that just
got a little bit of slowdown. All right, Larry, you're back on.
Okay, I was finished. What's up, Sane?
What's up, Larry? How you doing, Unc?
Man, I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I started to call you, man. I believe, I don't know if I got I friend you on another platform. I want to make sure it's you.
Okay, you gotta be careful, man. You know how they do, Larry.
So,
You know
Chris,
how they do.
No, I know.
Chris, let me catch you up. I'm just going to catch you up. I'm going to run you through some questions. You can give some short answers. You can take however much time you want. Real quick, your thoughts on the
Okay.
market drop. Do you feel like this is the beginning of a reversal for the market, or is this just a blimp in a run up? What are your thoughts on the market right now?
Great question, Josh. Because we're currently in a strong uptrend, we have some critical levels of support to break before I look at this more serious. This is just a healthy pullback or the beginning of a healthy pullback. We got to clear some key support levels and actually drop and fail those levels for it to be something more significant. So I wouldn't be surprised to see continuation tomorrow, but I'm hopeful and feeling confident that we'll resume the uptrend after a day or two of downward momentum.
Yep.
Real quick, Keenan, I'd like you to give a proper introduction to Chris Sane. Chris Sane is the OG YouTube guy, and Keenan, just to introduce him to the audience. Someone said that they wanted a proper introduction.
So everybody, listen. Let me make sure you can hear me. You got my mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. So everybody, listen. We got Chris Sane in the building. So there are a few words that I want you to write in the chat to show our boy that listen. We see you, family. We listening. In the chat, I want you to write "What's up, YouTube?" Write that. Put some explanation points on it so Chris can see that we all are here together with the camaraderie and we showing each other love, baby. That's what I want to see. What's up, YouTube? I'm about to go to the chat right now. Write that in there.
All right. Hey, all right. The next question, Chris, I'm going to run by you. Your thoughts on buying the dip for Google or Tesla right now?
I love it. Those are two of my favorites, especially Google. And the dip buy is a must, especially on both of those, as you can just get a better entry. You can get a chance to rinse and repeat, but it's more movement to the upside. We're looking for Tesla to make a move towards 260 and above once it gets back trending to the upside. And Google is going to, and that is an opportunity them more upside. I think they got a Gemini chat comparison thing coming out, man. That's going to be another boost, another tailwind for them to continue to go higher on their journey.
Looks like
Chris,
you got
showing
some.
you crazy love in the chat.
Yeah, they are showing you love. They know who Chris Sane is.
Crazy love in the chat right now.
That's it.
That's what's up.
All right. I want to
That's it.
cover
Nothing
a couple.
positivity over here.
I want to cover a couple topics, guys, before we end this live. One, people are asking me about the Doge play, the SHIB play. We're going to get into Bitcoin a little bit, and people are asking me about SQQQ. I'm just going to throw some basic comments about the whole thing out there, and then we're going to do a rapid fire response from the guys. In regards to SQQQ, there is absolutely no confirmation that these markets have capitulated and are ready to go down. We don't have a sell signal on anything at the moment. All we had was a single red day after we've been rocketing up and breaking 9 records were broken this month. 9 stock market records were broken this month with the amount of thrust up that we had with the market. And so, no, is it? Now, I will tell you about SQQQ. It's sitting on support. The last time I covered it, I said that if we got a close beneath $13.80, that would be a break of critical support, and it could go down as low as $12 to $11. Now, real quick, I don't know if one of you guys could look up where it ended the day, but that's the level to watch. You watch for a close beneath $13.80 on the SQQQ. Guys, I'm just curious right now, any thoughts on the SQQQ? Chris, go ahead. You start that one off.
Yup, Josh. Hey, it closed at 1406, so it did clear 1380. Like you said, we're not out the woods yet, though, because I can easily see us give that 14 level right back if stocks bounce back on tomorrow. And you're right, we got critical support at that level. Below 1333, We have support at the 1280 level. And so again, there's, like you said, there's not capitulation yet. So we have to be cautious with that inverse play. Even though it's going to be a banger when it takes off, we don't have confirmation that it's, we call it bubbling up for the double up in that particular play. Right now, you're just accumulating and just doing your thing slowly but surely, anticipating at some point the rest of the market will come down, which will give that the boost it needs to go higher.
Okay, I appreciate that. Guys, if there's any lag or audio problems, it's my end here. I'm on vacation. I'm in Hawaii. I'm in a little bungalow not far from the beach. I'm amazed I've got any Wi-Fi at all, so just bear with me. I'll tell you one thing I know for certain, that we are going to be putting out some strong content in this video. As I said, at the end, I'm going to give you guys my pick of the month coming up, which I think might be a winner. I want to take a step back, guys, and I want to give some thoughts on Bitcoin. Now, I'm going to keep it simple because of the connection, and I don't want to go too long. I did a real deep dive comparing the last cycle to the current cycle, and I'm going to just share a couple thoughts on that. The last time that Bitcoin made a low in 2018, it went up 320% from that low before the halving event. Okay. Now that was typically what's referred to as the accumulation stage. And so there was a 320% move up during the sideways accumulation phase of the last Bitcoin cycle. And then people are like, wow, that's amazing. Okay, but let's pause. Did you also know that the last time it made that run up after hitting its low, it then turned around before the halving event and it dropped 80%? Okay, 80%. So it pretty much went right back to its low, and then it quickly recovered 72% back up within 2.5 months before the halving event, and then from there it took off like a rocket ship and went much, much higher. So if you guys followed what I just shared, and here's another dynamic. The last time that it went through that peak and then that drop and then that recovery, the peak occurred within the first 200 days. And then it had a much longer period of drifting off and going down. And then right before 2.5 months before the halving event, it had a strong capitulation and V-shaped recovery. Now this time, it's actually had a really long move up. And we're actually running out of time before a drop before the halving event. We actually only have about 2.5 months at this point. We're going to have, January, February, March, April. So we've got maybe 3.5 months right now before the halving event. But here's what I want to tell you guys is that the last time it was able to pull back 72% down and 72% back in the last 3 months before the halving event. And so what I want to prepare everybody for is this, is don't think by any means that Bitcoin and the miners are out of the woods when it comes to their potential for a swing low. We're currently enjoying a swing high. There will be a swing low on these before we get to the halving event. And I'm going to get into some commentary on Mara as to where I think it's going to go. But before I do that, let me just kick off with a question to Larry. Larry, you had some of the miner CEOs on your show recently. You hosted Mara, you hosted CleanSpark, you questioned them. I'm just curious what you could contribute with what I just shared. What do you think is going to happen here with the miners between now and the halving event?
Well, I have been saying this for many months, that there will be a cool off, right? But this cycle is different, Josh. So I researched the same thing you did. I literally scrubbed the last 2 cycles. And one of the things that we do know that these cycles are morphing, they're changing. So this cycle is not going to be exactly like last cycle. I believe you will agree with that. But there are some similarities, right? It rhymes. And so the cooling off, I believe, is going to rhyme just like it did last cycle. But we have one major thing that's happening this cycle that has never happened, and that's the spot ETFs. Okay. So January 10th, as soon as January 10th, Kathy Wood's company could be approved for a Bitcoin spot ETF. So I believe that that has a lot of play to do with what Bitcoin is doing right now, right? And so I do believe that there's going to be a bleed off, but this time, Josh, and you and I may be different on this. I don't believe it's going to be as severe as it was last time. So that's where I'm playing, and that's why I've been DCAing, and we've been killing it with the Bitcoin miners.
Okay, and Keenan, your thoughts on the miners, where they're at right now? Is this something that there's room to the upside, or do you feel like it's time to get cautious?
So I actually still think there is room to the upside. But remember, since this is a news catalyst kind of a play, sometimes you could get a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing. But I think I'm with Larry on this one, where this time, and again, whenever you hear this, it's usually time to run. But this time is a little bit different. Be cautious. Just because it's different don't mean it's good different. Be cautious. But since the institutions will now have a way that they deem safer to invest in Bitcoin through the spot Bitcoin ETF, which the rumors are early next year, like January 10th or around that time, that they're going to be able to list it. I actually even heard a ticker symbol for one, for the BlackRock one. I forget what it was, but it's like IBIT or something like that, right? For the ticker symbol for the spot Bitcoin ETF. So you're starting to hear rumors about that. So, and for those of you that don't know, BlackRock is the largest asset manager in the entire world. So
10 trillion.
They have more money than many governments do. So since this is the case and they are trying to get into Bitcoin, I heard that there are estimates of about $6 to $30 trillion sitting on the sideline that could, even a percent of that could be allocated towards Bitcoin, which will put more money in it than has ever been in it. But even though all of that is true, Bitcoin is not your typical play like a VOO or a VTI. So you always have to realize this ain't something that you're going to put the rent money on. This ain't something that you're going to put your down payment for a house on in hopes that you could double it. If you playing it like that, you playing to lose, right? So you got to be cautious because it is not one of those regular traditional investments. This is still a news catalyst play on crypto, which is all speculation at this point due to the fact that the SEC, they could just shoot it down. Boom. No Bitcoin ETF just because we said so, right? So since that's the case, you don't want to bet the house on that, but you don't want to totally ignore it either and deal with these FOMO people trying to, not even fear of missing out, the fear of telling you don't do it, right? You got to do your own research and really listen to the facts and not always listen to your heart. Like I say, trade with the chart and not with your heart. So in terms of that, Larry, you on point. We've been killing it with the Bitcoin miners. I'm talking about killing it. Listen, Bitcoin miners, right? They went to like $7. And then, you know what? They went to $9. People telling you, oh, it's too late. They went to $13. Oh, it's too late. Now it's $20. And they telling you what? That it's too late. Read the charts and be educated in that way, and you could still make some money. Because if they telling you it's too late, what are they telling you? It's going to drop. You can make money when it drops. You just got to pay attention and know what you're doing. So with that being said, I see room for Bitcoin to keep pushing up. If this spot Bitcoin ETF happens, honestly, I don't even think the biggest pop would be on the announcement. I think it will announce, it'll pop, it'll drop, and then it'll slowly pass all-time highs again. That's what I see.
Okay, I'm going to briefly ask you guys about this text back here. I like this guy's comment. Stock market plunged today. Scrooge sold his stocks. Okay, Bobby, he just threw some tickers. He threw some cryptos out there, and there's going to become a conversation. The fact is that Solana has emerged already clearly in my eyes as the threat to Ethereum, or at least the competition to Ethereum. ADA has had a nice swing up, and that's being recognized, so I think it's going to remain a contender, but I think that Solana is the one that's shining. Now, the next question that you want to ask yourself is, who's the major threat to Solana? And in my opinion, I think that Near Protocol is underrated. There's a lot of risk to it. Bobby put it in his comment there, and I'm just going to shout it out early. I do like Near Protocol. I think it's actually a potential competitor, and it really didn't have its massive swing up moment because it came out late in the last crypto cycle. Guys, any thoughts on that real quick?
Go ahead.
All right, let me just, before we go in any deeper, I'm going to talk a little bit about some technicals on Mara. First of all, it is extremely overbought on the RSI. So just keep your eyes on that. Things can remain overbought on the RSI, which measures momentum. They can remain overbought and they can continue to go higher even when it's up into that environment. But you do need to acknowledge we're not on our way to overbought. We are overbought. Go ahead, Larry.
Josh, tell them how long it's been overbought, because this is what's important. It's been overbought for a minute and it's still holding. Go ahead.
That's right. That's right. So I'm going to give you guys. I want to take a step back. If you followed a video that I made a couple weeks back, I pointed out the fact that we had a bullish inverse head and shoulders pattern with a breakout at the level of 18. And you know what? I did not expect Mara to break out before the Bitcoin halving event, but it actually came up to that $18 mark. It broke right through it, and it's what's giving us the price point today. Now, if we follow the rules of a head and shoulders breakout, the actual target that would now be on the table would be $28 for Mara. I just wanted to throw that out there. I will tell you that just like Larry said, I looked at that RSI today, way overbought. I looked at the Bollinger Bands today, way outside the Bollinger Bands. Now, if you guys have followed this page, every time I pointed out a stock that's outside the Bollinger Bands, I always tell you guys the stock price wants to go home. It wants to go back inside the Bollinger Bands. It's outside. It could stay out there another day, maybe tomorrow, maybe 2 days. I've seen stocks stay outside the Bollinger Bands for 3 days, but really rarely past 3 days. I really can't remember too many times it stayed outside the Bollinger Band. So this is definitely, potentially, a couple days away from having its peak move. And you know, who knows? It might, but $28 would be the target if you are insistent on going long. Now, Mara. I want to talk about Mara in comparison to its last cycle to this cycle. In 2018, when Bitcoin was going sideways and it had its pump up moment before the halving event, Mara had a pump up of 240%, right? Now, this particular move on Mara right now is about half of that, and not even half of that. After it had that 240% pump up, before the halving event, it dropped 90%. And my only point about this right now with the miners is that you want to recognize that these miners could pull back 90% in 30 days. We still have 3 months before the halving event. And let me tell you, that is more than enough time for these miners to come all the way down 70 to 90%. Now, I'm going to give you guys my support and resistance prediction for Mara. And people are going to say, Josh, we know it. You told us it was going to $5. Well, I'm going to tell you that there is the potential for it to go to $5. At the moment, Mara, it's hard for me to see it coming back that low. So I have this prediction for Mara. It's a revision to a past prediction. At this moment, I do see it easily coming back to $9. That would be a 60% drop, right? And I want to point this out to you. People might say, well, Josh, that might not happen. Guys, if you look at the Mara chart, the last two swing highs, one of them had a 80% drop, and the next one had a 60% drop. So the last two swing highs for Mara that we've had in the last 6 months, both they gave us between a 60 and 80% drop directly afterwards. And so a 60% drop from the $28 target above us would put Mara at $9. And at this moment, that's my newest prediction. Now, before I'm wrapping this up, in the Discord, I gave a trade alert and my position that I took when we started the Discord for stocks. Each of us picked 5 stocks. one of the stocks that I put into the portfolio on the Discord was 2,000 shares of Riot. I checked it today. It is 68% up from the trade alert and from the day of purchase. So, guys, I'm just going to do a quick shout out for the Discord. If you are not a member of the Discord, it's the Stock Squad. It's Stockmo, Keenan Grace, and Stock Up with Larry Jones. You can see parts of our portfolio there, and you can get trade alerts and technicals from us. There is a link in the top pinned comment. Did you guys want to talk about any of your recent Discord posts? Go ahead, Larry.
Oh, I want to just talk about the crypto, all of the crypto minings. And
go ahead, man.
All right. So this is what I want to tell you guys. All right. Josh knows that last cycle, I killed it with crypto. And my theory back then was simple. I want to be in the fastest moving car. So I wasn't team ADA, team this. Who cares? I was in the fastest moving car. You remember back in 2020, Josh, right? But then I only bought crypto. For those of you that don't know anything about charting or anything like that, I had a rule of thumb. I only bought it when there was flash crashes and when it dropped 30%. I would never buy it when it was up, and I only bought it when it was down. It was simple, easy money. But I'm going to tell you what a lot of people miss out on is they have their monotunnel. They have tunnel vision, right? So I'm just Solana, right? But let me show you guys this, and this is why we've been killing it, okay? So if you look at Solana right now, I guess I can go full screen, okay? So if you look at Solana right now, Josh, to the year, right? It's up a whopping 600%, right? Killing it, right? But let's go to 1 year in Cypher. Can you see that number, Josh?
Yeah. $1.36. $1.36.
What's the percentage?
Oh, I can't see that percentage, my friend.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I want everybody to see
Let me
that
put you up big. Let me put you up big, Larry. Go ahead, man.
Okay. You see that number now?
Yes.
That's 3,300%.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, man.
All right. So a lot of people, a lot of you guys, I don't know, but you guys have been seeing that. What is this? This is the warrants, CIFRW, right? I'm not going to say specialist. That's hardy because I'm not. But I always kill it with warrants. So for every time I buy a stock that has a warrant, I buy 4 times the amount of warrants than I buy the stock. Okay. So let's look at this. All right. Let's just get these out of the way because I want people to make money. So if we look at Cypher here and let's compare it to Cypher warrants, I'll get that up for you guys. FRW. Okay. Now people say, why the warrants and not options? Because you don't have the Greeks coming after the warrants. That's why, right? You don't have the Greeks coming after the and watering it down. Let's see here. All right. So as we could see here, you know what? I'm gonna move that over, Josh. Just hold it right there. I'll move it over. Yep. Okay, there we go. You can see that?
Yeah.
All right. So good people, look at this. All right. So we got the warrants underneath. Let's go to the 1 month. We could see that Cypher, which is a crypto miner, is up 56%, but the warrant is up 223%. And my family have been eating off of that. 6 months. Look at that. Year to date, look at that. So Cypher is the fastest moving car, up 500%, but the miner is up 1,800%. The warrant, should I say, is up 1,800%. So let me end by saying this. Here's what I'm doing with these miners. I have been DCAing, and let's see, will that pull up bigger? There we go. This is just the $25 a day challenge on these crypto miners, right?
Nice.
As you can see, yeah, Mara's up 67%, even with the sell-off today. All right, let's skip Disney. Cypher's up 32%, CleanSpark 48, Hut 23, BTB. We could see all of that, right? We could see the percentages, right? But what I'm going to tell you is that with Moomoo, I said I'm just going to buy a share of one of all of them, and then I'm going to buy them when they pull back, Josh. So I looked at it today, and woe and behold, look at the percentage on these. Right to the right is the P&L. We got 23% on Hut. We got 128% on Mara, which I bought big blocks of these that day in my other portfolio, right? Riot, 64%. And CleanSpark, right after I had the CEO on the show, is up 177%. Sorry to take all of that time.
No, that's great, man.
I'm going to tell you my keys to being successful with crypto is simple. I don't get into the technology. I don't get into the layers and who's doing what with crypto. None of that matters. Don't talk about when it comes to crypto, you know, the Shibarium and the burn rate and all that. That's all garbage. It's all garbage, good people. I'm qualified to talk about this. I'm not gonna
Larry, amen.
Saying
Amen.
how much I made.
Amen.
Amen. It's all, take it from somebody. You guys watched me make over $250,000 with a crap coin. Listen, they are going to come out of the woodworks. They're going to keep telling you that Shiba Inu is going to a penny and all of this. Don't fall for it. Y'all my family. I got to talk to y'all like family. They're going to talk about the burn rate. Oh, they're burning sheep. They're going to have to burn for 100 years for it to go to $1, 1,000 years for it to go to $10. It's not enough fire in the world.
Thank you, Larry. I agree with you, man. First of all, I want to just quickly thank Jerry Yu for the super chat. Appreciate your generosity. I'm going to get to Chris, and I'm going to take a step back on what Larry was saying. I agree 100%. And you know what? He made a killing. I watched it. I saw the accounts. He made an incredible sum of money on the meme coins. Later on, he told people when to sell, and people still came on later on and said, "Hey, Larry, you pumping SHIB?" Larry made, I think, $250,000 on SHIB. All right, guys, I am in a SHIB and Doge trade right now, and someone keeps asking me for an update on Dogecoin. I looked at the chart today. Dogecoin, I think that it previously had resistance at 9 cents roughly. It shot above, it's come back, and it's bounced on the 9 cent area, and it's making a series of higher lows. And so I see positive movement. Now, here's the biggest technical I can give you. First of all, you do you. This is what I'm doing with my money. If I lose it, I'm prepared, okay? So I'm not making a suggestion. None of us are telling you guys what to do with your money. But here's why I got into a huge Doge and SHIB trade. My reason is that every single time Doge and SHIB have broken out, and they have, every quarter or so, they've had a breakout move. Each time, they've run up approximately 100%. So the closer we get to the halving event, the more excitement and the more likely it's going to come off its bottom. We saw that with Solana. We saw that with Dogecoin. We're seeing that with ICP right now, which I have a big bucket of ICP. I was shocked to see that thing go up to $11, man. That was awesome. Now, so we are going to see a similar move on Dogecoin and SHIBcoin than we have in the past. It hasn't happened yet. They've really only gone up about 50, 60%, about half of what I think they're going to do right now. If it goes up to where I think it's going to go, which is largely going to be potentially 15 cents, I would make a ton of money if it went north of 12 cents. I might lock in some profits, but between 12 and 15 cents is my target for Doge. SHIB, it's very, very similar. Somehow these guys have fallen into alignment with each other. You just have to add a bunch of zeros for SHIBcoin. It's basically going to do the same thing. It's going to be 5 zeros and a 9, which I think is going to move to 4 zeros and a 12 or 4 zeros and a 15. Let me get Chris in here. Chris, what are your thoughts on these meme coins? I don't know your opinion. Are these not to be touched? Have you traded these? Is this something that you would buy?
No, anytime you can make money, Larry Jones is right. You are right too, Josh. You oftentimes are spot on, guys. Anytime you can make money, I'm all for it. When it comes to the meme coins and the altcoins, I only say just make sure you allocate what you can afford to lose. Okay, like Keenan has said as well, you're not risking the whole lot on these things, but you are
Right.
allocating an amount that you know, if this don't go my way, I'm okay. But in the event it do, you guys can be just like Larry and make $250,000, because that's the power of Doge and Sheeb and all of these altcoins and Solana and the miners. They go up 3,300%, 1,000% when it happens. And so I'm all for it. I always allocate. I have a limit, guys. If you follow my channel, it's just $1,500 in all of them, spread throughout. And whatever that 1,500 do is what it do. And I only invest heavier in Bitcoin and Ethereum. They got more than that.
Thank you. Hey, Larry, I want to, if you could make that comment brief, I also want to do two more
Okay.
things I want to do for people. I want to briefly talk about
Okay.
the Chinese stocks. I'm going to come back to Chris for that. And then I'm going to give my
Okay.
play of the month. Go ahead real quick, and then we'll go on from there.
Okay. All right. For those of you that asked about XRP, I think XRP is a sleeping giant. I am DCAing without resistance and without any charting. I am DCAing in the XRP. XRP did not participate on the run last cycle, but this cycle, I believe it's going to bigly. Okay. So that's that. All right. So Chris is absolutely right. The only reason why I won the way I did with Shiba Inu is because I was early. I didn't buy the hype, but I was also out early, and that's it. And you have to do profit taking. Okay, so we can make a whole nother video on how I did proper profit taking. Even with that, I could have made more. Right. And lastly, these crypto miners are all overbought right now. They're all overbought right now. Okay, just know that. So don't leave this live and go and run and buy a lot. They are going to pull back. As a matter of fact, I didn't think that Mara was coming back down to 5, and it still could, right? And so now I've been DCing. Yeah, we've been winning. Wah. But Josh just said Mara can come back down to 9. I believe it could come back down to 8. So you see, different time frames show different things because we keep having these different catalysts, right? If they approve a spot ETF, you got to be careful. There will be profit taking for people like me that look at Shiba Inu when it's 5 zeros and a 6.8. Remember, I was telling you guys to buy it when it was under 7 in that range, right? Crypto is easy for me. You gotta have guts. You gotta buy it when it's beat down. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody wants it. That's when you buy it. But on the other side of that scope is you gotta get out before everybody else. I yield the floor.
Chris,
Could you let me in real quick, Josh?
Yeah, go ahead,
I
man.
want to share something with everybody. Can you make me larger on the screen?
Yep.
So this is a book. It's called Volume Profile. I suggest this to anyone trying to learn on another level on the charts. You can learn about point of control. You can learn about how volume is used to really show you what's going on in the market, because some support levels and resistance levels, they're not all made equally, right? There are some that have extreme amounts of volume of buys. Some have extreme amount of volumes of sells. And this book will tell you how to navigate that. Again, it's called Volume Profile. It looks like this, right? So go ahead, grab that. I'm not affiliated with this book at all, but I'm picking up a lot of information from it. And I wanted to give you something practical to do with that. And I want to say this. I wanted to give you real quick the levels on Mara. We were just talking about Mara, right? So Josh was saying it could come down to 9. Larry saying it's going to come down to 8. This is what Keenan is saying. We are currently at $21, $22 or so. If we break under, so let me see if I can share my screen with you. I might not. I can't share. I can't share my screen. I gotta upload and everything like that. But whatever. Listen to me close. Mara is $21. If it breaks under $19, that's the first red flag. If it breaks under $14, that's the second red flag, and it's going to 9 or it's going to 8 according to the charts. So if you're wondering, oh man, I'm holding on, and we broke past 19, yeah, that's a red flag. And then we break past 14, oh yeah, this is your second chance to get out late and then you could ride the wave all the way back down to 8 or 9. It's up to you. Now, I want to just comment on this too, because I seen a video, right? It popped up on my screen. You know, I had to hit the dislike button on it. It popped up, and I never dislike videos, but I had dislike this one. And they was talking about us, right? Us. And they were saying, oh, and they were trying to like expose, oh, look at this. You said this stock and that stock and this stock. And then I click on the video. In the first part of it, I seen one of us saying, hey, I got in at this point and I got out at that point and I made $2,000 in profit. And I'm thinking like, wait, they're trying to expose us on videos from years ago that were trades. They think that we think you should invest into the crypto miners, not trade it. They think that we think you should invest into some of these hype things because the people who were trying to do these kind of negative videos, they just didn't understand the amount of money that we are making in these plays by getting in and then also getting out. They think that the whole play is to get in. No, that was the play with Apple, just to get in. That was the play with VOO, just to get in. You didn't have to really think about that. But when it comes to these miners, when it comes to these EV stocks, not Tesla, but just things like that, when it comes to a lot of these kind of more hype stocks or crypto stocks, getting in is one thing, getting out is another thing, and people haven't merged those two ideas together, but we got to be better than that. But again, I want to leave and just say again, volume profile. Go look that up. I got the soft cover book, and I'm digging in.
I completely agree with Keenan's overview, and my number's slightly different than his. He mentioned 19. Anywhere between 18 and 20, is perhaps the definable neckline. Personally, if it closed beneath $18, that would be a hard breakdown, pointing to these lower lows that we're talking about. I want to thank Benjamin Mahoney for the super chat. Thank you very much. I also saw a question about where is the Discord. The link is in the top pinned comment as well as the description of the video. All right, guys, before we wrap this up, I want to give the new play of the month. Now, in regards to the Discord, this is going to be, I'm going to be giving weekly updates on this play. I'm going to quickly pull up my notes for it. The pick of the month, Josh's pick of the month is going to be Dollar General, ticker DG. This thing is down 61% since its October 2022 high. Now, here's something I want to point out to you guys. This thing made its 52-week high when the rest of the market in October of 2022 was bottoming. And right now, it's bottomed out when the rest of the market is peaking. This is a potential recession play. And I think that we do have the potential, despite how bullish everyone's feeling right now, we do have a potential for recession in 2024. And even if it doesn't come to pass and it's a soft landing and it's just recession fears, I think that Dollar General is going to be one of those stocks which is given the benefit of the doubt. That's where people are going to go when they're tight on funds and they need to save a couple bucks. They got to get those alternatives. They got to get the cheaper items over at the Dollar General. It's bottomed out. It's oversold. It hasn't printed a buy signal yet. But this is my pick, and I think we're going to be seeing some positive movement on it. This is my recession fear play. And I see support at $127. That's light support. I see resistance at $129. That's light resistance. Strong support right now is at $134, and that's where I believe we're slightly beneath it. If we move over that area of $134, then I think we're going to retest this local push-up high of $139. Now, if we get above that $139, my target over the next 30 to 45 days is $150 to $165. And I'm going to break this down and give weekly updates on Dollar General in the Discord. You guys can get the link to the Stock Squad Patreon in the top pinned comment, and then that'll give you access to the Discord. Guys, any thoughts on Dollar General? Chris, let me start with you real quick because I've been a little bit light with you. I even had a couple of people say, who is Chris? That's amazing to me. Chris is the man. He's predated all of us on YouTube. Chris, tell me your thoughts on Dollar General.
You better ask somebody.
Yeah.
Hey, great breakdown, Josh. And as it relates to Dollar General, I think if staples come back into play, that will be one of those ones. If retail can have a bounce back, that will be one of those ones. I agree, Josh, will be one to have on your watch list for 2024. Because if money comes out of at least some of the tech and start to have more breadth and go into other areas, that could be one that might be a steal, or what we call a dark horse. And so I like that. I like that pick, Josh.
Thank you. I'm going to just, guys, we're going to wrap this up. We've been on for 1 hour. Before I do, I'm just going to give each of you guys an opportunity to give some final thoughts. Larry, would you begin?
Yes. So first, Dollar General. I like that earlier in the year they had they had some layoffs and they were operating more leaner. Then they brought the CEO back. And this was one of my long-term plays. You know, the same thing, you're buying insurance by buying this. And this is one of the things that when it's beat down, you just buy more of. Dollar General is not going anywhere. When times get hard, people are going to go back to Dollar General. So I agree with you there. I just want to say, good people, listen, regardless of what stock you're in, especially in the crypto, especially with these miners, please have a stop loss set. Please have a trailing stop loss set. For those of you that are into the warrants, you can get them on Fidelity. Please have a trailing stop loss. The trailing stop loss is going to help you make money. See how I'm cool now? See, Chris Sane brings the coolness in me, man. I'm chilling. I got so passionate a minute ago. I don't want y'all to lose no money. I want y'all to make some of this money with the rest of us, okay? So do a trailing stop loss on the warrants, right? And then on everything else, just do a hard stop loss if you don't have the opportunity or if your broker doesn't offer a trailing stop loss. Don't fly free. It's like running out of your house with your drawers on. Don't do that. It's not sexy, okay? We want to make sure that we protect our gains. Hey, Chris Sane, love having you on. You and I are going to get together. Josh, thank you for having me on. I love it when the family comes together, and thank all of you, our viewers and our listeners. If you haven't hit that like button, hit the like button. If you haven't downloaded the 4 of us, the Stock Squad, and join that Patreon where Josh, Keenan, Grace, myself, and Mo are leaving our best plays. Do that. And then check out all of the links below. Check out Moo. You got the 16 free stock. You got 5.1%. I'm doing your heavy lifting, Josh. And then check out all of Josh's links and make sure you share his page because y'all know he should be over 100,000 already. Come on, y'all. All it takes is for every one of you to share it with 3 people. Done. Peace. Love you guys.
Thank you. All right, let me, thank you, Larry. Real quick, I'm going to come to you, Chris Sane, in a moment. I want to thank Floor Labor for Super Chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate your generosity. He also asked, what do y'all think about BABA? And I want to quickly get in some thoughts on the Chinese stocks. BABA is bottoming out, and I have been consistently buying the shares. And I think that similar to Dollar General, it hasn't been its moment. This has been the moment for it to get beat down and sold off, and it's going to have a reversal moment. And in my opinion, if we haven't already seen the absolute low, we're extremely close to it. We may have already bottomed out at $70 when we recently touched it. I personally felt that it would do a flash underneath 70, and then it would have a harder buy candle, which is the type of thing I'm looking for long-term holds. So at the moment, I think that we could still come down and do that, but it wouldn't shock me if we don't. And so that's why I've been daily buying BABA. I'm bullish on it. And there was one other thing. Oh, I wanted to talk about a prediction here. Or no. Yeah, so let's talk about this comment, and then I'm going to come to you, Chris. I'm gonna shine a little light on some criticism. BitBoy, which I don't think is the actual BitBoy, he said, Josh said Bitcoin will go to 41K, then back to 31K, but blew past 41. I'm going to start with that. Yes, when Bitcoin was coming up at 35K to 36K, yes, despite all the fear that was in the market, I said that the move wasn't over and it was going higher. And the next area of resistance that I believed that it would hit was 41K. And then it pulled up to 38. And again, a lot of fear came in, a lot of FUD came in. And I said, nope, hold hold. This is going to go to 41K. Now, when I make a prediction that a stock is going to go to an area and I say that it's resistance at that area, I have to wait until it gets there, and whether it gives me a rejection candle and shows me that that will become resistance. But if it doesn't give those sorts of technicals, then I begin to look at the next area of resistance above. And so I'm only calling support and resistance, typically the next support and the next resistance. And so that, in my mind, was an accurate prediction and more of a misinterpretation that Bitcoin was only ever going to go to 41K. Larry, did you have a thought on that?
Actually,
Yes,
can I
come
jump in
on,
real
man.
quick? I got a quick
Hold on,
jump
Larry,
in.
let me
Let
get
me
Keenan,
jump in for a
Keenan.
second. Let me say this one thing. I gotta say this. Josh,
No,
I
you gonna take
personally
my
think
thunder. Go ahead.
I personally think that the people heard you the first time, and some people try to troll you and throw you off. But I think the people who were really listening, they heard you the first time. You didn't have to say it again.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead, Larry.
Thank you, Larry. What's up, Larry?
I'm gonna be like my man, the master investor. If Josh made you some money, put a number 1 in the chat. Really, person, I'm not getting on your case, but I sort of am. Do you know how much money Keenan Grace and myself make, and Keenan and Chris Sane make? Do you know how much extra money we could make if we weren't doing this? If we just stayed in front of the charts, right? Chris Sane, you know what I'm talking about. But we keep the family fed. I don't know nobody on these YouTubes that is more correct with the technicals than Josh. Out of all of these plays that he's been printing money for you, that's what you come up with? Come on.
And you know, it's okay because you know what? I'm not going to get it.
But I'm just saying,
right. Thank you,
Josh,
Larry.
I know you nice. Josh, you nicer than me, man, but let's keep it real.
Keenan Grace Radio.
If Josh has made you money, put a number 1 in the chat. And whoever made that comment, I want you to watch how many number 1s, because I could put 1,000,000 of them in there by myself.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Josh. Be nice.
Keenan, where are you at? It's all blacked out.
So on my show, we got a segment called Keenan Grace Radio, and this is an old one. This hasn't happened in a while, but this one my camera died, but the audio's still on the camera. So it's Keenan Grace Radio. It should be back
still
on
like
in
it.
a minute, but
all right,
it is what it is. You see all the ones rolling in. That's why I told you people would just try to troll you. Like I seen people try to troll Chris Sane. I seen people try to troll Larry, and I'm thinking to myself, I see how much money people is helping you to make. You know what I'm saying? The love always outweighs any negativity. There's a lot of money to be made. And to be honest with you, somebody said to me the other day, they were like, Keenan, because I had showed them how Tesla, you remember it was $100 like in January. And I had made, and I'm not saying this to brag, I'm saying this to just tell you the truth. I made 60K on Tesla. And I showed it in like maybe in my last video I just posted. And oh man, I don't think that's real. And I'm thinking like, if you're making any money on the stock market, you didn't have to go get your hands dirty. You didn't have to go and do no back-breaking labor. You didn't have to do nothing like that. And you making money and people can't even believe it. They can't even believe it. So I want to just give all of you guys a salute for having your money working for you. Most people work their entire lives for their money. We have an opportunity to let our money do some of that heavy lifting for us. So Chris, I appreciate you being on. Josh, thanks for having me on. Larry, my brother, good to see you.
My man.
Yeah. And Josh, I'll finish with this. I want everybody, if you haven't subscribed, especially if you're part of the Sane Gang, like and subscribe to Josh's channel. He is one of the most surgical, technical traders. That's why I love him myself. And I'm one of the best and real recognized, real iron sharpens iron. I love watching Josh. So if you part of the Sane Gang, 2 things. We're making sure he get to 100K by December 31st. So get the likes up and get his subscribes up to 100K first and foremost. To close out and finish out the year, guys, do me a favor. Make sure you sign up for the Stock Squad Discord. Support whatever link they have listed for you guys so you can get the information. But more importantly, surround yourself with quality people, guys. You have to use discernment when you're online and look for those individuals that's genuinely here to help. And so this group of guys, best in the business, are here for you guys. So link up with them, connect with them, and then look to dominate 2024. Josh, man, I thank you guys for having me. It's been an absolute blast. I can't wait to see you in Maryland.
Thank you so much, man. I'm gonna
Yes,
just
sir.
quickly comment because we're giving and giving and giving and giving today. NIO, guys, NIO's it's a Chinese stock and it hasn't been its time. You know, it's doing the opposite of the market. It's been down on its lows like BABA. Now, I said it plainly. If NIO breaks beneath $7 and closes, it's over because it's going to hit $5. And but at the moment, it hasn't done it. It kind of got hovered above 7. It came up off the lows, and so I cannot call a RIP for NIO just yet. It's holding on, life support at the moment, and we'll see what happens. That's it for today, guys. I'm just gonna end up with telling all of you guys thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to this page and you made it this far. I appreciate each one of these guests. Thank you, Stockmo. He's not here today, but I appreciate you, man, as always. And I know you're out there watching. We love you all.
You know what would be nice, Josh?
What's that?
Is if when this is over, that everybody that left for one would just leave a Josh and some hearts in the regular comments. So when this is over, because that's how this video is going to get traction. When this is over, leave Josh. I'm asking you guys, leave Josh and hearts in the regular chat.
I appreciate that.
In the comment section. Yes, sir.
Peace and blessings to all of you. We'll see you soon.
Love you.